Hi everyone. Every year I do a presentation on the trends for web design, and this year it's actually kind of a little different. This is actually the first year that there hasn't been a really good source for design trends, number one, and number two, it seems like nobody can really agree on any of the design trends. So what I've decided to do is kind of go through very quickly actually a couple of different sources for some design trends and talk about them briefly, but then I want to show you some actual examples of some websites and talk about the design a little bit. I think part of the reason why we haven't really seen anything with web design trends for 2017-2018 is because not much has changed from the last couple of years. So they just haven't come out with another article or with new ideas because not much has changed. But also technology is changing, and they're not sure exactly what's going to happen and how trends are going to come about. So they can't really formulate any kind of trends just because the technology is changing. So I'm going to start with this 99 Designs article. She only has 9 cutting-edge web design trends. And so we'll talk about them kind of briefly. So her first one is menus that defy navigation. So basically what she's talking about here is that we've always had navigations that are either at the top or on the side. That's about it. And the newest one is the hamburger menu. That's your 3 little lines, and that's come about in the last few years only because of responsive design. You can't have a full menu when you're on a mobile phone because it's hard to see the full menu, or the full menu takes up so much space on the phone. Here she's saying that people are not liking the hamburger menu because it hinders user engagement, people can't find it, and various other reasons. So, and we'll see in some of the examples that people are coming up with completely different ideas for navigation. And she actually has a couple of examples here, and in this one, the whole outside menu is the whole outside frame of the website actually is the menu for the site. And I've seen a couple of websites this year that have done something similar. You've got like 2 or 3 buttons that navigate the site, and they're on the top, left, right, and bottom. Some websites don't use a menu at all, and what that really means is there is a menu, there's buttons, they take you to different places. For instance, here's an about button, but what they're doing is they're forcing the user into a linear experience, and they're forcing the user to kind of scroll left or right or top and bottom. So your long websites that only have one page, and then if they click on a button, it jumps that user to that section of that one page. That's kind of an example of a linear experience where it's just one page and there's really no buttons, there's no jumping from page to page. It's just wherever the user scrolls to. And another option is to embrace the hamburger menu and make it the only way to navigate, meaning that the hamburger menu is on the desktop version as well, as you see here. That way, no matter how wide the screen is, the user always has to click on that little hamburger menu in order to open it. Here we have the menu. We got home, menu, all the menu. This one goes home, showroom, contact, scroll down. So it's kind of like all over the place. Then she talks about a pop-up menu. So you click on the button that says menu or the hamburger menu, and it pops up a little pop-up screen that you can close, where you can see all of your menu choices. Pop it up all over, meaning the entire page or the entire screen is the actual menu. And this one is a bigger example, or shows you kind of, you can see the picture in the background, and then each big box here is the menu, and you can click here to close it out. Otherwise, you can see the entire picture in the background. Her second trend that she's talking about is split screens, and this is where you have the screen divided in half into two equal parts. And I only see this working if you've got two main ideas for your company. So in this instance, they have people who want to become a distributor for them and people who want to view their products. Those are the two main reasons why people come to their website. So I could see something like that, but I don't see this working for a whole lot of companies, so I don't really see this being a trend. But then she shows how you can split the screen for other ideas or other things. Like you'd have a nice picture on one side and text or information on the other. And here we have a nice big picture on one side and then products on the other. So she's really just talking about splitting the screen. Color with the vintage quality. I don't know about this one. Not many people are talking about going back vintage. Bright, bold colors, that is becoming a trend, but not vintage. So she shows a couple of examples of sites with lots of color, but in this example here, they're going back to vintage color, meaning your roses and stuff like that. I don't see these having really a vintage quality to them. That one maybe because of the lines that are the rays that are coming through. That was something that was from the 90s. It's a design element that was done a lot in the 90s, but I don't know if that particular part is going to be coming back. Custom scrolling, I've already seen some sites that have custom scrolling. This is being done a lot because with CSS3 we can do all kinds of animations, and so we have all kinds of, and you can see in this example here that there's all the different elements are scrolling in different ways. Some are scrolling from the side, some are scrolling from the bottom, from the top. And here on this example in the middle, you've got scrolling back and forth. Some of the text is scrolling up when it comes in. So you are going to see custom scrolling. There's two here that use the WebGL, which is an application that renders JavaScript, so you can have 2D and 3D JavaScript that's rendering. And then you can have it looks more like a 3D world or something happening with 3D. So she's got here blending tactile with digital. So she's talking about the different types of buttons and how we had flat design, and then we went to material design, which gave it a little bit more of a 3D look. So now we're not totally bringing back actual photographic pictures of our icons or anything like that, but we'll have some images that basically will be more like photographic. However, we're not going to be worried about realistic sizing. So the example that she's showing here is these earbuds are extremely large in comparison to the phone, but they're also using it as a design element on the screen. And here on this screen, you've got this ginormous text next to this teeny tiny truck, or what looks like a truck, small truck. And then this ginormous spoon, or fork, I'm sorry, fork and spoon. And then these little illustrations underneath it. Number 6, subtle animation and micro interactions. So this is basically, again, because we have web animations that we can do with HTML5 and CSS3, and everything's getting faster and better and cleaner. This is just showing a small example of how you can have small, subtle little animations. And again here, just subtle, small little animations of things popping up, popping in, rolling over. You're going to see more of that.